storytelling crystal. Has anybody ever heard of the storytelling crystal? This has every story that's ever been told in the world. The storytelling crystal. And all I do is look up at the sun and I spin the crystal until I see a story. And the story reveals itself to me. And in an instant, I've got it. That's storytelling. Want to hear a story? Yes.
Isabel.
All right, let's see what we have today. Closing my eyes, spinning round and round and round and round and round and round, and what do we have? Oh. The frog and the princess. You see, this princess lived in a big castle. Big castle. Big stones and beautiful forest, and the birds would sing in the back, and she would go in the pond every day, as long as the weather was good enough, and she would walk around the pond and listen to the birds, listen to the wildlife that was going all around her, and one day, she heard a sound of a frog she'd never heard of. Now, who can make a frog sound?
What?
Ribbit. More rivets.
Ribbit.
Right on. Okay. That's good. That kind of frog sound was what she was used to hearing. But the frog sound that she heard was big groan. And that's exactly how it sounded. Beautiful sound. So she paused. And as she approached the sound, she started to get scared. Like this big frog was going to attack her. And she got so close to the frog sound that she froze. She froze, and all of a sudden, it jumped out onto her foot. Was this bullfrog of a massive size. And he says, "Well, who are you?" The frog spoke to the princess. Now, this was a very, how should we say, pretty, well-bred, and intelligent princess. And she answered back, "Well, don't you know me? I'm the..." And she paused. She realized she was talking to a frog underfoot. Now, that does not happen every day. And in this case, the frog repeated himself, knowing that she was a little startled. "I know I'm a frog, but I speak your tongue." And just after that, his tongue rolled out and rolled back in. And on it was, what do frogs eat? Bugs. A little scared of this, but managing to compose herself, she said, "I am the great princess that lives in the castle. And who are you?" "I am the great prince that lives in the castle."
Louder.
Now, a frog telling a princess that he's a prince was a little bit like unbelievable. But they got into this conversation. They started talking and saying, "Why didn't I ever hear of you before? Why didn't I hear this deep groan?" Perfect. "Why didn't I hear this deep groan before?" He said, "Because I had come from a castle that is way, way far away from this land. I was dropped off. You see, there was a carriage that I hitched a ride, and they didn't know I was on it. And when I found a pond, I jumped in, and I found a new home. But Alas, I am missing my home. She said, what home, what was it like? I've never been outside this area of the kingdom. Tell me about it. She found great interest in his story. And he told her in great detail of the mountains and how they at night would look up at the stars and they would see things that would come from the stars and tell stories like the one I'm telling you now. Stories of animals in the skies, traveling, places like planets, and a word she'd never heard before. We have rings around planets, and we have great oceans. This went on and on. So she decided to take him inside her castle and show him around. Picked up the frog, nestled under her arm, walked off to the castle. She walked inside, and the frog started to weep. Why? Why would the frog start to weep? And she asked this. The frog simply said, now I know I'm missing my home because yours is so much like mine. She had a spiral staircase, like my Nautilus. Then she walked up, and as she got to the top into her bedroom, she put him on her bed. And she said to him, how do we get you back home? Surely a prince does not go home to other frogs, do they? He said, oh no, I don't go home to other frogs. You see, when I hitched the ride on that cart, I was not a frog then. I was a prince, and I went through the dark forest. And in the dark forest, there was a stop. And at the stop was this house. And in that house came out a wicked witch that took and saw me as the prince that she so loathed. Because in that kingdom far away, was my father. My father who ruled the kingdom that cast out that witch. And she cast a spell on me, and immediately, wickety-wackety whom, boom, I was a frog. And there was no way of getting back to my original self, unless I got from a beautiful, innocent princess like yourself. So, when I jumped into the pond, I confess, I knew you were here. Aghast, she steps back and says, kiss a frog?
Be careful.
To release the spell? Surely you don't think me able to do such a thing. The frog started to bring up another tear, and he said, no, surely not. Unless you want to leave and go to my kingdom and visit. You see, now that I am here, I have no way of getting back. Do you know how long it would take me to jump as a frog all the way back to my kingdom? It would take my whole life. But you have within you the power to release me from the spell. The frog put his hand out and said, thank you for this. Now I must go. He turned to the window that was open, and he took a jump, landed on the ledge, took one last glance. The princess
I don't want to get hit.
Wait! Don't go. And without even thinking about it, she rushed over and kissed the frog. Poof! Instantly, the poof turned into a smoky image of a man in beautiful clothes. had a gold lace around his neck. His flowing hair matched it. His eyes were a striped brown. And he had a smile on his face so subtle yet calming to her that she had never felt. He reached out his arm when the smoke was gone and he said, "Will you come with me? Come with me and meet my people, my kingdom." And at that instant, a carriage underneath the castle appeared. She looked down and saw she had with him to go on the journey. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Frog. Thank you.